Hello, my name's Maria Papazoglou. I'm the leader of the Learning Resource Centre at Dandenong High School, and I'd like to share with you some stories and some books that I've used with reluctant readers. The first one is Amulet. This is a particularly appealing story. It's a story that many EAL students relate to. The illustrations really support students who have reading difficulties. A few years ago we had a student, Josh, who experienced severe reading and writing difficulties. A lot of them were undiagnosed. However, he had experienced lots of years of failure. At first we got him talking about graphic novels. He was reluctant to try. I think Amulet was the first one he had tried and really enjoyed it. He had to move away in year 10 and he came to visit a year later, and when he came to see us in the library he was waving a big chapter book, and he said to us not only is he reading graphic novels, but for every graphic novel now he's reading a lot more chapter books. If they do start with graphic novels, they can then scaffold into a chapter book with the same sort of series, like the Patterson or the Horowitz Stormbreaker series, and often there's a movie as well which helps to scaffold the reading. I think the other thing with reluctant readers, it's really important to honour their interests, especially boys. A lot of boys don't like narratives. The voice messes in their heads for some reason. I think non-fiction books like the Guinness Book of Records and the Gamer's Edition, it gets boys into reading. One of the stories that I always encourage students is Once by Maurice Gleitzman. It's set in World War II, so I have to be very sensitive about the background of the student. However, teenagers want complex issues. Maurice Gleitzman's Once is simply told, and there's a wonderful audio book. This really scaffolds reluctant readers, and I've had reluctant readers who are competent readers but have lost the love of reading. And I think reluctant readers come in all shapes and sizes. They're not just the students who have reading difficulties. And Once is a perfect one because the audio book supports the students that get tired when they're reading. Another way to get students into reading is through author visits. And we've had Oliver Pomervan here the last 4 years, and he just has a hilarious, wacky, stand-up comedian background which really connects with students. Students not only ask for his book before his visit, but they clamour for his book afterwards, and the reluctant readers don't need a lot of persuading to borrow his book. Now, I really like picture books. I really loved this book, Old Tom, the big book of Old Tom with 5 picture books in the one book. There's not a lot of writing there, but a student can proudly carry this book around and feel a sense of satisfaction once they've read it. I really love this book. And although I haven't used it yet, I think one of the techniques is getting students to review it and picking out a student as special to help me review the book and knowing that they'll get into it. And my final one is, if there's a movie and girls haven't been reading and there's a really beautiful starlet and handsome young man in the movie, make sure you get a lot of the copies of the book because they'll love to read it.